to equip beneficiaries with practical entrepreneurial skills for sustainable business growth. Market access facilitation to connect youth-led businesses to viable markets, ensuring their products and services reach potential customers. Startup capital to provide financial support for youth-led businesses under the program. And then continuous mentorship to offer ongoing guidance that enhances decision-making and long-term business success. The goal of this program is to create a new generation of young job creators and reduce over-dependency on public sector jobs. The belief and hope of His Excellency is that by the time his 4 years is over, at least a unicorn company would have been birthed through this idea. Funding. In further demonstration of government's unwavering commitment to economical empowering Ghanaian youth, an amount of 110 million has been allocated by the Ministry of Finance this year under the directive of His Excellency the President for the nationwide operationalization of the Jumera program. This financial backing sends a strong signal that we are not merely announcing intentions, we are resetting the country and investing in the future of young people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to report that the program received over 8,000 applications in the first week alone. To date, we have received more than 120,000 applications through both the online and manual submission channels, all of which are under review. We recognize that the future of this country depends on the empowerment, education, and inclusion of our youth in national development. As a ministry, our duty extends beyond merely supporting young people. We must provide them with the essential tools, skills, and opportunities required for their growth. The National Apprenticeship Program. Ladies and gentlemen, in a strategic effort to address unemployment and enhance skills development, the National Apprenticeship Program was inaugurated on April 30th, 2025 at the main conference hall of the University for Development Studies in Tamale. The NAP aims to promote self-employment by offering young Ghanaians free technical and vocational training. Successful apprentices will receive certification, startup capital, and the equipment necessary to establish their businesses. For the first time in the history of this country, apprentices will receive a monthly stipend to support them whilst undergoing training. In implementing the program, we have partnered with relevant sector stakeholders and technical training institutions to provide practical skills training to about 500,000 young people nationwide in various fields, ranging from artisanal, technical, to vocational skills. A total of 115,000 participants have applied for the program, which includes 95,819 trainees and 19,190 trainers. Among the applicants, 57,897 were submitted online. Of those submitted online, there were 18,571 males and 39,326 females and 720 youth with disability, demonstrating a commitment to inclusivity. The selection process for beneficiaries is currently ongoing. The ministry is also working with the NYA to do what we call the Prior Knowledge Certification Program, where trainers who want to train applicants will have to necessarily undergo a program through TVET and be given certification to be able to attest to the fact that they know their craft and trade before they impart knowledge. And when the processes are done, they will be given certification to that effect. Funding. This year, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, through the Ministry of Finance, has allocated 300 million Ghana cedis to this program as a deliberate effort to promote skills development amongst the youth. The program is scheduled to start on August 12, 2025, where the first cohort of trainees will be matriculated. This program is not just about training, it is about employability. We are ensuring that every young person enrolled will receive industrial relevant skills to either find decent employment or start their own businesses. This is one of the largest apprenticeship drives in our country's history, and it reflects His Excellency's deep commitment to solving unemployment through skills development and enterprise creation. Successful trainees who have completed their apprenticeship and wish to start their own businesses will be onboarded onto the Ejumara program for access to startup capital and continuous mentorship. This is part of our broader agenda to transition participants of the National Apprenticeship Program from apprenticeship to what we call entrepreneurship. The National Service Deployment of 2025 and 2026 service year. Ladies and gentlemen, for the 2025 to 2026 service year, approximately 130,000 prospective national service personnel drawn from accredited tertiary institutions across the country will be deployed to public and private user agencies seeking skilled temporary personnel to support their operations. All accredited tertiary institutions have submitted class lists for the 2025-2026 service year. The National Service Authority has generated PIN codes for prospective service personnel to begin enrollment. However, registration and deployment processes are currently paused due to the system shutdown of the centralized service management platform ordered for audit purposes. Shutdown of the National Service Centralized Service Management Platform. Ladies and gentlemen, as you recall, the ministry announced the suspension of the central management system used for postings by the National Service Authority. This action followed a directive from the presidency ordering the suspension of the system for a comprehensive and forensic audit by the Ghana Audit Service, and I believe we all know why we've done that. This suspension has become necessary following revelations that the system has been used to perpetuate serious financial fraud. That is the ghost name scandal that has been haunting the authority for some time now, which had become an albatross around the neck of the authority. The National Security is currently investigating the matter, whilst the Attorney General is also reviewing the docket for further actions. Plans are currently underway to deploy a new comprehensive system that will meet all the technical specifications and ensure the integrity of the system. His Excellency's pledge to the good people of this country is that under his watch, we will have no ghost names at the National Service Authority. Basic military orientation for national service personnel. In a significant move to promote national discipline, foster patriotism, and enhance the physical development of our young graduates, His Excellency, the President has directed the National Service Authority to implement a 6-week basic military orientation program. This initiative is in accordance with the National Service Act, Act 1119, and aligns with the strategic objectives outlined in the National Service Policy. The National Service Authority will collaborate with the Ghana Armed Forces to carry out this program. This orientation is designed to cover 100,000 national service personnel starting this service year. This remarkable initiative will start on the 31st of August 2025 in 2 cohorts of 10,000 and upscale to 100,000 in subsequent years. This policy is not about militarization of service personnel, far from it. It is about leadership, resilience, and civic responsibility. The training, we believe, will instill discipline, national pride, and preparedness among our young people, many of whom will become future public and private sector leaders. The Feed Ghana program and the Happy program being undertaken by the National Service Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, the ministry through the National Service Authority is enrolling the Feed Ghana program and the Happy program. These initiatives will train 45,000 national service personnel with backgrounds in agriculture, agribusiness, and related fields to create dignified and fulfilling job opportunities for over 88,000 young people. Under the Feed Ghana program and the Happy programs, 1,500 acres of maize have already been cultivated, with 1,000 acres now ready for harvest. Additionally, tomato production has begun on a pilot basis, covering approximately 100 acres of direct cultivations in Kumewu and Yape. Through collaboration with anchor partners, around 500 acres are currently in production, with plans to increase this to 2,000 acres by the end of September 2026. The National Service Authority, in collaboration with the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program and various stakeholders, is actively working to develop an entrepreneurship-based deployment model. This initiative is designed to empower graduate job seekers by equipping them with the skills and resources they need to become successful job creators. This strategy acknowledges youth-led ventures as legitimate service sites, providing structured incubation, mentorship, and access to essential resources for entrepreneurs. It aims to support 1,000 viable graduate-led businesses in the first year alone. The Youth Employment Agency. Distinguished guests, the ministry, through the Youth Employment Agency, continues to undertake activities aimed at the development and empowerment of our youth. The YEA for the 2025 year is projected to recruit, train, and place 259,850 beneficiaries under different models prescribed by its legislative instruments. Actual performance as at 31st July 2025 stood at 49,413 beneficiaries, and the breakdown is as follows. Industrial attachment and direct placement initiatives. Under our industrial attachment program, YEA targeted 20,000 graduates through the Graduates in Corporate Support Initiative in partnership with the National Insurance Commission. Although implementation is still underway, our exit plan includes a minimum of 60% retention placement through the YEA Job Center and entrepreneurship training. In collaboration with G4S Security and Soccer Bets under the YEA's Job Center, we aim to place 10,000 young persons into employment. As of now, 6,500 have been successfully placed. Similarly, the Work Abroad initiative has projected a target of 2,000 beneficiaries, with placement structures being finalized. Vocational and trade-based training under the YEA. Our trades and vocations program, including the Artisan Directory and the Make Fashion project for persons with disability, which is being done in collaboration with the GIZ, targeted 125,000 young persons. To date, 8,913 have been trained and supported to start their own enterprise in fields such as auto works, carpentry, ICT, hairdressing, welding, plaster of Paris, popularly called POP, painting, plumbing, among others, with a clear path to self-employment. And this program is over a period of time, so it is not just this year. So if you look at the 125,000 that we seek to place, and you look at the 8,000, you may think we are performing below, but it's over a 5-year period. Community improvement initiatives. The Smart City projects, fast and safe transport, and the Shagzi platform collectively targeted 6,800 youth. Whilst implementation remains in progress, these programs are geared towards innovative startups and transport-related self-employment. Our school support and Arabic model initiatives were designed to integrate 7,000 youth into mainstream education to support educational services in the country. Agriculture and afforestation programs. The agency continues to support agricultural entrepreneurship with initiatives such as the turkey berry and maize production, aquaculture, and animal farm estates. A total of 6,550 youth are targeted for startup support in this sector, and we believe strongly that agriculture holds the potential to absorb a significant number of our unemployed youth. Community education and health assistance. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Community Education Training Assistant Program engaged 2,000 youth to support educational outcomes whilst preparing them for skills development and future studies. In the community and health assistance domain, 6,000 community medical first responders and 6,000 community health workers have been successfully deployed, achieving full target implementation with plans for skills upgrading and entrepreneurship support. Community service and security. We have successfully deployed 12,000 community protection assistants, 5,000 prison officer assistants, and 5,000 fire service assistants. With these programs, we are seeking to create employment whilst reducing the incidences of crime in the country by strengthening security and enhancing emergency response capabilities. These models will establish a stable and safe environment that is crucial for the successful implementation of the 24-hour economy. This proactive approach will promote continuous economic activities and boost investment confidence, paving the way for sustainable growth and development. The apparel, sanitation, and coastal employment. In the garment sector, we targeted 2,500 youth for startups. Under the Youth in Sanitation, 45,000 youth are being mobilized to establish janitor enterprises. Whilst implementation is ongoing, systems are in place to ensure structured follow-up and support. RED means stop. Ladies and gentlemen, the rising incidence of drug use among young people is a pressing concern. The ministry recognizes this as a significant public health challenge and is taking decisive actions to address substance abuse through targeted prevention, education, and rehabilitation initiatives aimed at safeguarding the health and future of our youth. The ministry has launched an intervention program, RED means stop, popularly called Unim Red, to curtail the abuse of opioids and other harmful drugs to support the national anti-substance abuse campaign, targeting schools, youth groups, and communities across all 16 regions. This initiative promotes awareness, prevention, and behavioral change using cultural sensitivity and evidence-based messaging. Youth health is non-negotiable, and this campaign is part of our broader health and well-being focus area, which also integrates mental health awareness, reproductive health education, and access to youth-friendly services. The National Youth Festival. Distinguished guests, I'm pleased to announce that the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, through the National Youth Authority, in collaboration with other key stakeholders, is hosting a month-long National Youth Festival throughout the month of August. The celebration, which began on the 1st of August, is themed Igniting Potential, Inspiring Change. The festival features Youth Day with religious leaders. So on the 1st, we were at the Central Mosque, and yesterday being Sunday, we were at the Empowerment Worship Center. And this is being done across by the various NYA regional directorates. Youth Cleanup. On 2nd August, on Saturday, I joined the CEO of the National Youth Authority, and our regional directors also conducted cleanups across the various regions. The National Youth Conference. On the 10th to the 12th of August 2025, we'll be having the National Youth Conference with a climax which coincides strategically with the UN International Day for the Youth. Health Walk Against Substance Abuse, RED means stop. On the 16th of August, across this country, we'll be working against drugs to bring to the fore the issues of drugs that affects our young people. Multi-stakeholder dialogues. On 20th of August 2025, we'll have a multi-stakeholder dialogue on issues that affects young people in this country. The National Youth Conference on Climate Action and Environmental Sustainability. On the 25th of August, we'll be having this conference to discuss pertinent issues on climate change and green transitions. And we believe strongly that when the environment suffers, it is young people that suffer the most. And then on the 29th and 30th, like we say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. We'll have what we call the National Youth Carnival. During this month-long youth festival, His Excellency the President will take part in several scheduled programs during which he will engage with the youth. This participation underscores the significance of youth in his resetting agenda and highlights the confidence His Excellency places in the abilities of the Ghanaian youth. The Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. We are currently collaborating with the Ministry of Education to establish the Ghana Scholarship Authority Act. This act aims to transform the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat into the Ghana Scholarship Authority. The goal is to streamline and effectively oversee the system for awarding state-sponsored scholarships. We don't intend to sell scholarships like we are selling tomatoes on the Ghanaian market. A proposed bill has been presented to Parliament for consideration. However, the processes has been suspended to allow for further and broader consultations with stakeholders. In conclusion, members of the press, any discussions on national development must focus on our youth. The programs I shared today are not just isolated efforts. They reflect a long-term commitment to equipping our young people to be productive citizens and leaders of our country, and the leaders our country needs in the future. We'll continue to collaborate closely with all stakeholders, including youth organizations, traditional authorities, the private sector, development partners, and most importantly, with the young people of this nation. And I urge every young Ghanaian to embrace the opportunities available to translate them into meaningful and transformative outcomes. The future of our nation will not emerge by accident. We must work together to build for all of us the Ghana we want. May the Ghanaian youth continue to rise, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that presentation. We will delve straight into a question and answer session. So I would invite members of the media who have questions to the microphone on my left, so that they can fire away at the minister. So please identify yourself and keep it brief in order that we would maximize the time.
Rabon Bacho Mimwachi, within the Accra Kofi Dako, Free XYZ Broadcasting. Bacho, maybe say, Honorable Bramu Ba Bemuno, na mebu dodowahe se Neobronic and say statistics no more bi wo ho a awoni adwumaye busumie song temni dodowa mwetimi ama won adwuma mpa chom pese mi hu eno nso danchen a yenuanom a won adidem uka bribi sei eya na mo wo sike bia ana mo behwe won mpa cho kwan benso na mo befa so ya sika no ekwa ye behu se bekwa kodu wo mo nchen na akontebu mapa ebe ye juma ye behu se yi sika we akodu on akache medawase.
The minister is quite proficient in Equipment too, being his native language, so he would answer that appropriately.
My name is Rachel Quarte from GBC, and I'm concerned about the National Apprenticeship Program. My first question is that how would you monitor and evaluate the whole program? Because we've had similar programs in the past. And then, would it be decentralized? Just like we have the national service and then we have the district or the metropolitan.
All right, thank you very much for that question.
Honorable Minister, my name is Stanley Koblako from Pan-African Television. Honorable Minister, in 2018, the then government introduced the youth resource centers across the country, 10 of them. Only one, I beg your pardon, is operational. Honorable Minister, I want to find out from you what specific timelines is your ministry putting in place to ensure that this project comes to life, and bring us up to speed on the Ninahim Youth Resource Center, which we were told was complete about 95%. What the 95% represents, and when these projects will be handed over.
In some of them murdering themselves, one has resulted in a death sentence, another has resulted in life sentence. Under your purview, to address this issue.
Thank you very much. So the minister will answer these questions.
Thank you. On the issue of crime, crime is crime, and so when people commit crime, we believe strongly the laws must deal with them as it deems fit. But one of the key things we've realized is that most of these violent crimes are happening because a lot of the youth are abusing substances. That is why we've launched the Red Means Stop campaign, to be able to educate and sensitize young people on issues of drug abuse and also get closer to them. We're also encouraging the Ghana Education Services to have counseling centers in all their institutions. But sometimes the challenges of the times require that a lot of young people must be engaged. Realize that as part of our 5 thematic areas, the first thing we spoke about is the health and well-being of young people, and it's one of the key things the ministry is focusing on. The issue of the Azuma Nelson Sports Complex, we've reviewed it, we've seen the challenges. I have visited the site myself with the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority. Luckily for us, his office sits right next to the complex, and we have had discussions with the Ministry of Finance. It was funded through the Common Fund, and so we did not meet any substantial amount of money available. There are also challenges with the contractor and he not going to site because of payments. We are reviewing the contract, and in the next budget year, we will get funding. The Minister for Finance has promised that he will release funding for us to complete. It is not just the Azuma Nelson Complex. The question of Inenini and then the 8 other resource sentences that have not been completed. 2 have been completed, and 1 is currently in use. We are going to operationalize the one in the Upper West region very soon, and it's also going to be used. It's going to be put to use very soon. We've met with the regional minister for the Upper West. We've met with the regional directorates of the National Youth Authority, and so it will be put to use in good time, in no time. On the issue of whether the National Apprenticeship Program is going to be decentralized, yes, it has already been decentralized. The National Youth Authority has been given the permission to recruit 16 regional, I don't want to call them directors, but people to work with the National Youth Authority to be able to coordinate the activities of the National Apprenticeship Program. And currently they've undergone their various trainings, and so they are out there and working. Applications are being received at district levels. We are making sure that at least all 276 constituencies have adequate representation, and we are disputing the first 10,000 across equally so that every district or every constituency gets people to participate. The 19,000 plus trainers that we have gotten online and on board are also cut across, they are spread across the whole country, and so everybody will be properly represented. On the issue of whether we have assessed the data, yes, we have assessed the data. At the time we assumed office, we knew that the unemployment rate stood at 14.8%. Out of that, about 20+% were within young people. And we also looked at the not in training, not in employment, and not in education bracket, which is of critical concern to the ministry. That is why we are deploying the Jumera program and then the National Apprenticeship Program. Because one of the biggest things we saw is that skills deficit was one of the major challenges, and a lot of these young people did not have the right and requisite skills to be able to put to use. And so we are working with that figure in mind. We are not able to give you an assessment of how many jobs we have created. It's early days yet because our programs are still rolling out. But I believe strongly that by the end of this year, when I get my opportunity again at this room or on this platform, we'll be able to give you specifics, how many people we've put to work and how many we intend to put to work in the subsequent years. By going by the numbers that I listed out here, clearly by the end of this year, all things being equal, between 100 and 150,000 young people should be put to work. Under Jumera, we are targeting to do 500,000. Under National Apprenticeship, we are targeting to do 500,000 over a period of 4 years. And then the YA models, the national service models, give or take, by the end of the 4 years of His Excellency President Mahama, direct and indirect jobs should be close to 1.5 to 2 million. But we'll be able to give you a fair assessment when we are done with our stewardship and we are accounting again to the good people of this country. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take the final batch of questions for the minister.
Good morning. My name is Obed. I work with EIB Network, GH1 TV, Star FM.
Obed, we'll appreciate your full name.
Obed Ken Gaglo. Yeah, thank you. Right. About ghost names, apart from the top people that we've got briefing from the Attorney General, we know that there are some people in the districts and the regional level For instance, Bream North, we know that some people were interdicted. We want to find out from them, the minister, what is with that case so far. And then also, with regards to scholarship, last week we heard that the process has been opened. How many people have applied so far? We want to know.
Okay, all right.
My name is Evelyn Tengma. I work for Media General. I think the minister didn't answer the question on one of my colleagues concerning the National Resource Center. Oh. Yes, so I think...
I thought he did. He did. Okay, there was a question on disability. All right, so he will take it when he...
Okay, but my question is, just yesterday I received a call from a prospective national service personnel, and he says that the authority opened the portal just for some few days and they closed it back, and so some of his colleagues were able to...
You mean the portal for registration?
Yes. Right. And then some of his colleagues were able to get their pins and all that, but some of them do not have it. So can the minister assure these service personnel when the portal will be open and registration will be done? Because they are kind of worried about the situation.
Thank you very much.
Apamacha midindi osea kuta hoto FM. Abrofufo na komodi enti yetwifo no nse aba. Pese bisa minister say ne policies ne programs a wodi egu akwam no edien hyehyɛ no de ato be make sure say youth na ebe reflect youth no across all region. Like policies, like your region. Yes. Yes, ebe reflect. Yes.
Is there any other question, please? Okay, so Minister, please endeavor to answer the question on disability, and we would appreciate if you answer that in your favorite equiapum, and then the equiapum tree, and then the final one also. We would like to have it in tree as well. Thank you very much.
Nti me fiase wo dia ahoto FM reporter ne be bisare ne ho obisa say yeah policies no ebefa Ghana man na you hwe no one be ya ye ja won kran kuto because sabe obi biara hia mboa and utie nsema me di kan na because say for NIP and NYA programs no yeah channel not even at the district levels but at the constituency level, so that constituency will be properly represented. You know, it is going to be broader. Obiara constituency ibenyabi. Yenjidi anything it me and sa ebekwa kosom obiara mo obiara nyaso emfaso. And then the issue on disability. One of the policies are they ato ye hoso as ministry is we stand for inclusivity, and all the policies, especially under Ejumera and a national apprenticeship program. Your mandatory apprenticeship program, no, NNEP say a minimum of 5% should be reserved for people with disability. And so we want to assure you that everybody will be properly covered. On the issue of the portal of national service, yes, it is true the portal was opened. But when it was opened, some civil society organizations raised concerns. And based on the concerns that were raised, His Excellency ordered that we shut down. And that is how come we put out a communication. And so, yes, pins have been generated. But because the system is undergoing an audit, my last conversation with the Auditor General, they are almost done. They are receiving queries. They've sent queries to the various people involved, and then they are responding. We want to assure prospective national service personnel that I believe strongly that by the middle of August, we would have resolved all the issues. A new system would have been ready, and then we will open the portal. Their service will not be delayed. That I can assure them. And so we are working closely to make sure that we don't have a repetition of what we've seen previously. This ghost scandal hit Ghana in 2013, 2014, hit us again in 2023, 2024, 2025. We don't want to have it reoccurring during the administration of every president. And His Excellency believes in fixing it once and for all. And so we will plead with service personnel to bear with us, that we will deal with it and make sure that nothing untoward happens going forward. Ghost names in regional and districts. Because the issues are under investigations and a lot of them are cooperating with the Attorney General, I won't want to delve into a lot of it, but I believe that at the Attorney General's press conference, he made mention of the fact that some of them have become, they are cooperating and are willing to become prosecution witnesses on behalf of the state. But I want to assure the good people of this country that everybody who is found culpable will be dealt with and nobody will be left off the hook. And so whether you are at the district level, whether you are at the regional level, whether you are at the national level, everybody found culpable will be dealt with. On the issue of scholarships, the reason why we have the bill currently before Parliament is we have too many government agencies dealing with scholarships. Get Fund has a scholarship scheme that is being run. The GNPC also has a scholarship scheme that is being run. And then the Scholarship Secretariat that has the mandate of administering scholarship is also running a scholarship scheme. We want to make sure we bring all the scholarships into one centralized pool where government is able to control. And then the real targets are for people who are needy but brilliant, so that we don't end up giving scholarships to people who are not in need of it. And His Excellency has made it very clear that people like us, his appointees, and our immediate family members do not even qualify for scholarships. And so once the bill is passed, we'll be able to centralize it and then make sure that people who are deserving are given. As I stand here, it is only the Scholarship Secretariat that I'm supposed to be working with. Get Fund doesn't fall directly under me. And so I'm not able to give you figures as to how much or how many scholarships Get Fund is giving. But I can tell you that the National Service Authority, the National Scholarship Secretariat currently has opened their portal to give scholarship to Ghanaian students within Ghana. This year we don't intend, because we inherited over a debt of over 700 million Ghana cedis at the Scholarship Secretariat, and we are still dealing with it. So this year we don't intend to do foreign scholarships with the Scholarship Secretariat. But I know Get Fund has opened their portal. I know GNPC too does some. Those figures I will not be able to give you. But I believe that once the act is passed and all these agencies, all the scholarships are brought under the Scholarship Authority, we'll be able to give you specifics as to how much or how many people have been given scholarships. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right, thank you, Minister. But we still have some time to spare, so we'll take one more question from.
Honorable Minister, me pacha why ye incentive function now say kokoye say yenjina red means stop. Mebuna wamuton rono no bepe o maimu ansana wanga koto. Wamu nsusu wamu kraba o maimu nsu ye anamo beng na uritu afaun. Ai se sebita fracha yesi yenya igalamsi. Nsuno wanga wa cry free ni bano wamodi yehu anamonga yeritu afahu enti anamontu be no betu afahu ne to so ebi nga atwato empanyimfu susu a wanga du won panyimfi su a womunso womu ni adwumaye nkokurafo ni mrewafo anamon ben ana waso ye no betu se ne beye won soso obenya adwuma ni bi nsu aye me da wase
ya best say oswafo no ne dwumedie efa mebu no ho esabi nkokrawa ne omo edu mpanimfie so enhye nase enti eno no yebeja saa anu yie no e de ama oswafo foforo ono de obeka mebu no ho asem ne. Your my sister.
So please, the question I asked, I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Someone sent it. Yes. And they said the 2024 batch of nurses who finished their national service this year in May are not able to receive their certificates because the system has been hijacked. I don't know.
Again, that would fall under the purview of the health minister.
The health
he will not be able to answer that question because I know it is well intentioned, but unfortunately,
thank you very much.
It is directed at the wrong person. Thank you. So, Honorable Minister, you may want to answer the last question. Thank you.
Many are very much with us. The Edikai, I'm the Minister for Government Communications. He was second part of a question. I know say Labour Minister Bahanoma na sabi omo wedo omo pempen so omo kan mebu no ne ho no. Now the question I'm omo. Now, your question was on red means stop. There were various agencies now as a Ministry for Youth Development, various agencies in our collaborator Sandro Boni. Instead of launching red means stop no. Interior for a national NACOM for a mental health for obi biara sabi obi be a health for yin na na ehia na yes edwuma yen dia ya fatu ye ho so ne say because mmabunu dodo no na ewo mu no ye bebo ho dawuro na ya fa kwan a ye be kyerɛkyerɛ mo kwan a obetumi afisa tibia anim na ofisa tibia ne nsumu a kwan ye be fa so a ye be integrate omo aba be ka sabi adofo ho ana adehye ho nti ya catch National Youth Authority say obi ebe rehabilitating bi ade ne bebe bia no omo apprenticeship program no omo slot no omo training no omo man skills. The challenge I want to say yem borders ni be bring your porous and dia ehwehwemu ye ne dia ye hu no am say unim red no opioid am say air for crossing we are ton okrum yo eno na ama ne kuna e den kakra no ene na ansa na me wo social media so ade ba kwam hu ya yem hye me ewo no for baby obi a ofi around the border towns over spare tire the car and spare time no wa park and you see tablets and thing you know bringing it in is very easy. The challenge is I want to say your neighboring countries need to say now say you share Liberia for it's a problem across the sub-region. And in him saying I am borders net here. But Nancy Ministry of Health and National Security. Eshia chichi bibiri ya oma destroy no. The extra ne say I will see you na yede hu agimu bi. Se meme de me hu gym now do hu gym now nim so bi ye bi na report here. Ene betimi akwa atia. Nti adesre de yede to adehye ene adofo anim ne say se mo amboa yen an report omo a omo di saa edwai ana omo ton Sandro Boni ema ye mana ebe din say aban kwa betimi akwa atia. Na de man ye hu ne say ebia wo de ofo say onka ho bi. Me de ebia me dofo bia nka ho bi. But oba o school ade a ye hu ne say ye especially in Kodana was secondary schools even JHS kra almost started ton more it affect you bia and I say nipa no efe dro no na bronu obi e friend ko teki say onya bi mfa na odu ni pempen so bia de beba ni tim bia obeye nti bia wo de won ton bi wo de o se emfa ho e bia o ti fi a wo wapa nti o say o me dey unprotected but udu traffic light as ya hwo mo mugina gina no mo clean windshields na ni no. And imagine if any of them, one of these addicts, not say, Sada no one be no pisika, or ball glass no throw, or quite pass no farmer or the by force ebeji. Into a summer, yina, yadi hujim, timestre. Say, Oma mutie, mufie, baby, amutie, fibia, baby, amoshe, fibiano. Sa dragman is a yadia was a gun and ibia, said, O dogana. Now, what simte, tima. Emma Ghana my no for ahojimu bi na mo volunteer information munni mo ton no munni o mo nete munni ba bi e ton no mo authorities na so nte mo police for aso te mo dakop for aso te a ye be wura honom ni ache mu nyina na atimi asia no ye di se e o se eboa na ye mabunu no ediye medamase.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. So this is where we bring an end to today's edition of the Government Accountability Series. On Wednesday, the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, the Honorable Emily Arthur, will be here to provide an update on the happenings within her sector. And then on Friday, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofoswe-Jare, will also attend upon us to bring us up to speed on developments within her purview. So see you on Wednesday and then on Friday. Good morning once again.